Okay. So apparently, everybody, Israel decided to open up another front. Okay, another front in their war, in all of their wars that they have. They were going to war with Syria. They were going to war with Gaza. They were going to war with the West Bank. They were going to war with Iran. They were going to war with Lebanon. And now they have decided to open up one more front, everybody, and that is CNN. They're now going to war with CNN. So CNN made a pretty terrible mistake here in this video. CNN made the mistake of being a news reporter in the vicinity of the Israeli occupation forces, because, dear God, if there is one group of people other than children and elderly people that the Israel occupation forces loves to kill, it is reporters. Oh, and doctors too. They love killing doctors as well. But yeah, reporters is a no-go. You cannot be reporting their war crimes. You should not be anywhere near them. And if you are near them as a reporter, you better be ready, bucko, because you're about to get your shit rocked. So let's go ahead and watch this video by Breaking Points, and let's see what exactly happened here, because I'm a little bit curious. I don't know that much about the actual what exactly happened. So
E4 up on the screen. We've got a little bit of polling here about the support for the war, which continues to be extremely high. Very different political landscape in Israel for
78%, though. It did go down a decent amount. Yeah. Oh, we'll see how it goes in another month or in a year or two, however long this war goes.
For the war with Iran. Then here you still have 78% of Jewish Israelis who support continuing the war. Now that is down from the 93% who supported it a month ago. I guess you have some small percentage that are getting tired of living in bomb shelters. But, you know,
hey, religious zealotry, it'll, you know, it helps a lot. It helps a lot with maintaining the will to continue war. So you know what, I get it.
You still have overwhelming support. And then meanwhile, what they call Arab Israelis, which are Palestinians who live in Israel, 19% support the war. I guess originally it was about 26%. So you can see the way the society is completely divided here. We also wanted to get to
let's get
this
into the CNN stuff.
Incident that unfolded with CNN's Jeremy Diamond and his team on the ground. So his photojournalist was actually assaulted by IDF soldiers. And then Jeremy was able to speak to these IDF soldiers and ask them basically, like, what are you doing? And their responses were incredibly, incredibly revealing about the way that the settlement movement works and the way that they are supported by the IDF and by the state, and the way this whole thing is designed. Let's go ahead and take a listen. This is E6 to that.
Producer Abir Salman identifies us as journalists before translating the soldiers' commands.
Sit down, sit down, sit down.
So the soldiers just immediately came up and started pointing their weapons directly at us, telling everyone to sit down immediately. Obviously, we're not posing any threat here.
The commander comes straight for our camera, and within seconds...
A
soldier has just put photojournal...
I mean, they might kill you or whatever, but you are a CNN journalist, so it would be an international incident if they did. But
Cyril Theophilus in a chokehold, forcing him to the ground.
Don't touch him like that. Don't touch him like that.
This is why the reporters who go in, they need that self-defense, man. You got to have enough firepower to overpower them if they come for you like this. You know, you need to be ready to gun down at least, 5 or 6 IOF soldiers if you want to be a reporter in the West Bank.
The soldier who assaulted Theophilus continues to demand he turn off his camera before another smacks my phone.
So as you can see, what we have seen happen in the last...
Also, it's funny, the fucking impunity, right? Everybody out there, all you Americans out there, these Israeli occupation forces are literally manhandling and beating the shit out of these CNN journalists who, by the way, are paying for their fucking livelihood, right? Like, our tax money is what props up this fake state that they've created, right? Israel would not be able to exist at all in the way that it does right now. It would not be able to maintain its apartheid system. It would not be able to exist basically at all without Americans like these two CNN people who pay fucking taxes that then get siphoned off to these goddamn, inbred freaks over in Israel. So, yeah, like, I want every American out there to recognize the impunity of these motherfuckers and get really fucking mad about it and tell all of your Congress people to stop sending money to these fucking losers, man.
24 hours is
fat
that
fucking
settlers
losers.
came to this area. They settled that hilltop, and now you have a lot of soldiers coming to this area with the Palestinians in this area. They're on top of the home of Imad, the man that we were just speaking to. And we're seeing the soldiers treat the Palestinians in the area as a threat, when really what started this problem was obviously the settlers who came in the middle of the night and took over land that's not theirs.
The Palestinians here are detained and questioned. Soldiers detain
this
us.
This is just dehumanizing violence. This is just you have to make every Palestinian fear at every moment of their life that they are going to get attacked. And so a part of that is just making your rounds, being out there, like, showing them that you have a fucking gun and you could kill them at any point. Like, that's just kind of a part of the apartheid system.
2, and walk us back to our vehicle. They say they're trying to establish order between settlers and Palestinians.
Yeah, right.
So then let's put that.
Yeah, so, okay. Anybody who's read anything about American history, and especially our expansion west, during the creation of our state and the genocide of the indigenous people here, should recognize this pattern like almost immediately, because this is how it has always happened. This is how settler colonialism has always worked. You send in your rabid, fanatic freaks to go start taking land and taking territory that is outside of your stated borders, right? The borders that the state has determined. They then go out and start a bunch of shit, which then causes a retaliation of some sort. Usually, it, like back then, it was like an indigenous tribe or something would come over and attack one of the villages that had people who attacked them or something, something along those lines. Then what happens is the state then comes in and says, oh, they can't do that. They came over, they broke into our territory. We're going to go destroy them or whatever. And then it'll essentially be a quote unquote like war or like war operation or whatever. So they will go over and then essentially slaughter, do a bunch of war crimes against the indigenous people. And they will keep doing it until there is a peace treaty, a quote unquote peace treaty, at the barrel of a gun, where the indigenous people would then be essentially forced into a peace treaty that gives up some of their land. And then at that point, the people move into the land that they got from the peace treaty. And then they just keep doing that pattern over and over again until you've colonized the entire area. And so Israel is basically doing the exact same thing, except instead of actually like going to war and getting peace treaties, they're just, dividing up the territory and then militarily just controlling it, essentially. It's really no different, though, in practice. So, yeah, that's just what they're doing. It is one of the most barbaric, primitive, evil things that you can do. And that is, yeah, they deserve so much. Fuck, man. Like I said, journalists, if you go out to the West Bank, make sure you bring a shit ton of fucking guns. Like a lot of them. You need to be able to mow down as many IOF soldiers as you possibly can if they ever try to fuck with you. Please, dear God, somebody do it.
The next piece up on the screen, and this is a VO. I'll read you what happens here. This is an exchange between Jeremy and one of the soldiers, who is, so they're having this interaction. And Jeremy says they don't have permission to be here, even under Israeli law. He's talking about the illegal settler outpost. He says, even under Israeli law, this is not a legal settlement. This is one of these outposts that they strike up. The soldier says, but it will be a legal settlement. It will be. Jeremy says, how do you know this? Slowly, thanks to your help, right? Jeremy says, of course, I help my people, says this IDF soldier.
Yeah, fucking freak, dude. This person, man, all of these people are going to burn in fucking hell one day. I'm going to be laughing And they'll be laughing from heaven at these people all burning in fucking hell. Look at the face on this motherfucker, dude. Everybody out there, if you are not mad at this like type of shit, look at the face on this guy. The impunity that he has as he looks him in the face and say, we're going to take that fucking land and there's nothing they can do about it. And you know what? He's kind of right, because unless America stops protecting Israel, they are going to be able to do it. But as soon as America stops protecting Israel, this whole system collapses under its own weight, because they are not able to afford to maintain this apartheid system without unlimited tax dollars being siphoned out of my and your paychecks. I just want people to be aware of this. Like, we are the ones who are funding this system that is so dehumanizing, that is so Nazi-esque, that is so just brutal and barbaric and primitive. And it's our fucking fault for allowing our tax dollars to go to this shit.
He goes on to talk about how the reason that they're doing what they're doing and helping these settlers is because of quote unquote revenge, because of one of the settlers who was killed in some sort of a car incident. The details are very murky. But in any case, they explicitly say that they are doing what they're doing because they are seeking revenge. And, this is something that Jasper Nathaniel has talked to us about. So you have.
This is why the West Bank makes me almost more sad than Gaza, to be honest. I mean, Gaza, obviously, the atrocities that were committed, and also just them being, it being an open air prison is obviously horrible. But when I see this, like, this sort of stuff, it really makes me so fucking mad. The West Bank makes me so fucking mad because they don't have a resistance organization to push back on it. And the PA, the Palestinian Authority or whatever, the collaborators at the Palestinian Authority are doing everything they can to like stop any sort of indigenous actual resistance to this shit, which would be necessary if we ever wanted this stuff to stop. Which also really fucking frustrates me.
Have these sort of designated, quote unquote, by Israeli law, legal settlements. They're illegal under international law, but Israeli law says these,
I don't need to watch their whole analysis. I already gave my analysis on it. Just pisses me the fuck off, man. Pisses me the fuck off. Everybody should be, screaming from the rooftops to stop sending your tax dollars so that fucking losers like this motherfucker who deserve way worse than death don't have the funds to be able to do this shit anymore. One day, man, there's going to be a free Palestine. One day there's going to be a free Palestine, and these people, we need the names of every single fucking one of them, and they need to be like put, behind bars forever. Like every single one of these fucking IOF forces need to be behind bars forever and ever and ever. This guy needs to be in The Hague. Every single one of those people who came up to them need to be in The Hague. Every single IOF soldier who has ever partaken in the Israeli occupation forces and has ever committed any of these fucking war crimes that they are committing on a daily basis in the West Bank need to be in The Hague forever. And if it were up to me, they would get a lot fucking worse than that. But okay.